to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah, hope I get away with it. Oh, doo-dah, day.
Hi there, I'm Dan Hollifield. Welcome to Last Man Standing. We almost did not get a chance to start the show tonight. In between Stupid O'Clock and beginning Last Man Standing, I decided I had 3 minutes. I could go down the hall. Little did I know there was a German Shepherd laying in my way. I tripped over the dog. I almost went head first into the bathtub, and not in a fun way. We've got night lights and everything. Just can't see that dog against the shadows in there that the night lights don't cover. Phew. Well, I'm here. Once again, I have foiled the pickle finger of fate. But with me tonight, we got Aunt Donna, we got Chris, we got Joe Bachman, and we got Rob. And Thesis is in the chat. Don't know if he intends to show up or not. It's a little bit... Yeah, Foxy, I'm awake now. I hadn't been sleeping before, but I wasn't the one.
You mean Rich?
Yeah, you said Rob.
Rob?
Yeah.
Did I say Rob?
You called me Rob.
Uh-huh.
You called me Rob.
I have a friend just about your size whose name is Rob, but he's in Seattle and you are not. And he does not show up on the show. I'm sorry, Ricky.
That's all right. I'm just like, wait, huh?
He'll answer to anything.
I've got several neurons that are firing in the wrong direction at the moment. The panic has not yet worn off. I mean,
And you haven't had a gummy tonight.
I started.
Believe me, I need one now.
You haven't had as many firing in the wrong direction as Joe Dog has.
Poor Joe Dog.
I don't know if they're firing in the wrong direction.
anyone
They're
have-
firing for the first time.
Oh God, he was hiring a freaking kite.
Still, or did he take another one?
No, still.
No, he threw away the 3/4 of the one that he had just taken a little bite out of. What was
Oh,
it?
so this is off of a quarter of one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, it was bad.
Chris, you've got the details.
Did he just buy a stupidly high dose?
Was it his nephew that gave it to him?
Mm-hmm.
His nephew's the one that recommended the amount he took. Now I don't know whether he give it to him or not,
Oh, okay.
but
Oh.
he's not too happy with his nephew because
And it didn't help his pain any.
maybe
Oh, that
It
sucks.
probably did for a little while.
Well,
the problem is he felt so disoriented and so out of it. And it's almost like he would be going back and forth from like ADHD on meth to
Tunnel vision.
basically a downer and depressant just kind of weighing him down.
Mm.
And he was going back and forth between all those, and he could not get any rest.
Hello, Dawn. Foxy, yes, the rules here are fairly prohibitive as well. I don't believe I would have started off with something which seems to have been so massively overpowered.
I began to think someone may have rubbed a 0 off the, right before it says milligram. Someone may have scratched off a 0 on accident.
Or someone also might have been a little more used to this kind of thing and not thinking of someone who doesn't partake of this on a regular basis.
Or never has before in their life.
mm-hmm.
Well,
But he's told me he
someone
never will again.
Someone who does it on a regular basis will have a higher tolerance even.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's someone that doesn't even do it on a regular basis, someone that's never done it at all is just going to just be completely kicked in the crotch.
Mm-hmm.
And there are those of us who are the rarity that have the opposite effect of something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm that way with cortisone. Instead of easing my pain, it gives me more pain.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
the bottom
There's
line
some.
is, I got him there and back safely.
We depend on you, Chris. Glad you could be with him.
Oh,
There's some
I'm so
medications
sorry.
that Lindsay doesn't take because, like you, Aunt Donna, they have exactly the opposite effect. Instead of easing pain, they make it more intense. Or what was the one? There was one for nausea, and it made her very nauseous.
Yeah. And then some of us you just don't react the same.
Yeah.
The time I tried Coke, I'm like, what's with this? You did nothing for me.
Yeah.
I'll put these up in reverse. Yeah. Benadryl makes her hyper rather than puts her to sleep. And Dawn says he's the second person I knew in 6 months that did absolutely stupid high dose of edibles for their first time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not even a case of Joe Dog having an ego the size of a planet.
It's what someone recommended him.
Yeah. And I'm going, did the nephew have a grudge? Or did he used to be in the will?
Well, and I don't know if the nephew has done this before or if he was just basing it upon people he might have known that's done it and
This
they
is
told
true.
him a recommendation.
The nephew might have been ignorant as well.
But as Rich said, they're probably been doing this longer and their body has built up a tolerance for it and they can handle a higher dose, whereas Joe had nothing.
Well, one, they know how their body handles the dosage, period.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, trying anything that's THC based, I'm going to take whatever the recommended dosage is and maybe cut that in half and maybe cut that in half again. Never taken a THC product. I don't know how I'm going to react to it, period. I have a sister who's allergic to it. So, am I going to end up, being, sick all night off of, just touching the wrapper,
Dawn, there we go. Didn't call Joe Dog stupid, referred to the dosage he was given as stupid. We did, as Donna just said, we did understand that.
Yeah.
It's our place to call Joe Dog stupid. We know him.
We weren't referring to Joe
If
Dog.
I
just
don't
to
get
show
to
that he
call Joe
hopes.
Dog stupid, nobody does.
Really?
No, but like I told,
He's not stupid. He's just silly.
Like I told Foxy, Benadryl gives me hallucinations in a really big high.
Well,
all it does is put me to sleep.
Here's another example of contradictions, even within families' tolerances to handle certain medicines. My mom was extremely allergic to codeine. It doesn't bother me one bit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mildly allergic to codeine, but I finally, of all the doctors I've ever been to in my life and told, hey, codeine makes the inside of my throat itch and hard to breathe, and they just ignored me. Went to a dentist. And they go, I'm putting this on your medical record. This stuff could kill you.
Mm-hmm. Now, I love codeine. Yeah. Codeine and I are very good friends.
But like I said,
most medications, especially pain medications, maybe at best are work at half the strength they're supposed to in me. And apparently that's genetic and that's my father's fault. I mean, not that he did something specifically, but it's genes that I inherited from him.
Unfortunately, no one has inherited my genes, but several of my stepchildren have inherited my attitudes. My work here is done.
Yeah, actually, Crow, their pain meds after their surgery, they're having the same issue I tend to. So it's apparently they have gotten that. So, but I mean, they're off the pain meds now. They've been off the pain meds for almost 2 months. So
good.
Yep.
Everything's good as far as that goes.
The cool thing is, if you figure out what you can handle and you've got a doctor that listens to you, generally things go a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm.
My family, especially the women in it, did not like doctors. And if they liked a doctor, I took note of it because I made damn sure they were able to see that doctor again if I had anything to do with it.
Sadly, my pain specialist hears a bunch of people complaining about things not being strong enough and they're just looking to get high. So my pain doctors are like, this is what we're going to put you on. Cope. I'm like, you know what? It takes it from an 8 to a 6. I can cope.
I've been really lucky with my doctors. They've always listened to me, and of course I've been seeing them since I was 4 years old. I kind of know what I can take and what I can't.
Well, here's the funny thing. My mom has helped take care of a lot of people in the family. And she had a, other than the fact she was smartest, one of the smartest women I've ever known. She paid attention, and she knew all this stuff from all the other people that she was with, doctors and hospitals and offices, helping. And she knew her stuff. And some of these doctors look like, well, damn, man, yeah, that's right. And I'm just like, do not underestimate this woman.
Nope. Thesis, I'm right there with you. Didn't take many pain pills after his hip, where he broke his hip, but one or two in the hospital next day, maybe three more after he got home. After the surgery I was given a 90-day prescription, and after the first month, I gave it up. I didn't need it. It basically, I would take one. 4 hours later, I'd wake up in time to take another one. And after a month of that, I figured, I'm missing out on a lot of stuff. It hurts a little bit, but it's no longer unbearable. Let's just not bother
And some
anymore.
people have a higher tolerance of pain than others. There's some people that can't handle pain at all, and there's others
Yes.
it
Yes.
takes a bit for them to need something to help with it.
I'm usually like that, but after my back injury, which happened in Michigan, so I was rushed to a ED and a doctor I didn't know. But he pulled Carl across and said, aside and said, I have to write the script for her to take these every 4 hours. You give them to her every 2 hours. And I was, for about 4 days, I was taking pain pills every 2 hours that most people would take every 4. And it did get me through the visit to Michigan and the drive back down to Danville.
Yeah, because of my highly active and misspent youth, I've had some source of pain in my body probably since before my age was in double digits. And if I paid attention to, hey, that hurts, I probably wouldn't ever get out of bed anymore. I'd just lay there and hurt. I can take over the counter stuff, which I am thankful for. I hate taking anything whatsoever, but I'm glad that after my last fall, I have been able to gradually take less and less and less. I don't want to damage my body by taking over the counter pain pills, or even prescription, which I didn't even attempt to get any. So,
I
I
do
don't want
have,
to become so dependent on it that I take it so much that it doesn't work for me anymore, or I have to have so much stronger doses. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, especially if they're borderline, whether they need it or not. Oh, I'll just take some more just to make sure I don't. And they get so used to it that it takes higher doses, or they do it long enough, it doesn't work for them anymore.
no, I have an opioid script that my doctor gave to me because he knows that I'm not addicted and I only take it very rarely. I have levels. There's my Tylenol level, there's my Solampis level, there's my CBD balm level, and
Yes,
you know, and fortunately, well, winter's coming on us, so it's going to happen more often.
Yeah.
Then there's the opioid level.
Well, and here's another thing, Donna. You're strong minded, and people that are stronger minded have an easier time of, say, not falling into the trap where they wind up taking too much of it too often or getting addicted to it.
Mhm.
Well,
It,
also, like I said, I've been doing this shit since I was 4 years old.
yeah.
Yeah.
And um,
Same.
another thing, too, especially, and this is bad with athletes, especially high school athletes, if they have a very bad injury, they get addicted to those opioids, and it
Uh,
ruins their life.
preaching to the choir, Chris.
Yes.
I had a great nephew, got hurt in high school football, got addicted, suicided at age 25, overdose.
Mm.
Yeah. And it's sad because these people before those accidents, they were perfectly fine and didn't have
Mhm.
Mhm.
any of that.
Mhm.
But to some of those that it's so much a part of them, especially if they're not able to participate in it anymore, it kills them, and the pain emotionally and
Mhm.
physically, and they try and take that to get away. But the problem is, it's like anything. If there's an underlying thing that is not going to do a long term answer for, it's only temporary getting rid of the problem, and you keep having to go back to it, you're going to be in for a heartbreaking future.
Now I've known several people that I used to work with at the factory that got like a shoulder injury or something,
Hmm.
and they went in and they got like a shot in their
Hmm.
shoulder, cortisone,
Mhm.
something like
Hmm.
that,
Yep.
and they felt great and went back to work when the doctor allowed it.
Hmm.
And the trouble is, they didn't feel the pain
Yep.
and injured themselves even worse while
Yep.
that
Mhm.
was wearing off.
Yep.
And they
Uh,
finally wound up on disability.
yeah. Another thing is overuse of steroids.
Yep.
Hmm.
When I got back down to my doctor in Danville, we went and we figured this sports orthodontist orthopedist should be pretty good. No, he gave me the maximum amount of steroids for 2 years, and then bitched because I was up to over 365 pounds.
Mm.
And I'm like, you got to get me out of this chair before I'm going to lose weight. All the diets in the world's not going to help me. And he's, well, I suppose you want some physical therapy. Yeah, think?
Yeah, really.
But, and that's why my memory is crap today because of all those steroids.
Mm.
Yeah, and a lot of doctors seem to be making more money off of writing prescriptions than they do going, hey,
Yeah,
let's see what we can do to make you better.
that's
Here,
another
do
issue.
some exercises. That might help.
Yeah, I found a different doctor who sent me to the correct therapist.
Hmm.
And yeah, that woman got me walking almost normally within 3 months.
You find the right physical therapist, they're going to take a good look at you, how you do things, and then they're going to go ahead and figure out the best regimen to put you on to help you move the way you need to,
Mm.
unless the way you need to is something that is going to cause further damage. And then they're going to put you on stuff that's going to correct your movement so that you move the way that you need to.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, the physical therapist that the switch doctor sent me to gave me a couple of exercises, and I'm like, these don't feel good. I'm not seeing you anymore. So I went back. I got another. the other physical therapist, the first one didn't even talk to me about what it had happened to me, what I was going through, nothing. She saw a fat woman that she thought needed to lose weight. And when I went to the second therapist, she talked to me for an hour and a half before even talking about what regimen to start. And when I told her what the other therapist had wanted me to do, she's like, "Be glad you're so smart because those would have only hurt you worse."
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Be your own advocate, because knowing your limits and what's wrong and all, and finding someone to actually listen to you and work with you, that's the best thing you can do to heal your body.
Well,
Yeah, that and listening to your body.
Yes.
that's where I have it over everybody because I have been in the hospital. I was in the hospital 13 times for strep throat alone between the ages of 4 and 14. 3 surgeries, a couple of other things. So I got to know my body well as a youngster. And a lot of people don't know their own bodies. And doctor is God and he knows everything. No, they don't know everything about you.
Finding the right doctor is worth any delay and any running over of time. Because
Hmm.
they're helping you. That is more important than anything.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was
And
the only doctor I ever had an issue with.
Yeah.
uh, Foxy, it's even worse when it's self-inflicted.
Foxy,
Uh,
as long as it doesn't escape to a Roomba, you're probably all right.
Jeff?
uh,
Right, that's fortunately where Jeff is.
you put up a baby gate to keep Jeff out of the office.
No, it's his charging station is like right there on the other side of the wall.
I'm
Just-
just wondering.
Just make sure you're always wearing shoes or, something that protects your feet.
Steel
Well,
toe
my
shoes.
problem is if I can't feel the ground and having neuropathy in my legs, it's hard to feel the ground to begin with.
Hmm.
If I'm wearing shoes, my balance is iffier. Where if I'm running around barefoot, I actually have
Yeah.
almost okay balance.
Thesis, I'll tell you the same thing I told my first doctor. My mama couldn't keep shoes on me. You ain't gonna either.
I'm wondering if Roomba's going to come out with a specific Jeff line.
I would laugh. That'd be amazing.
Now introducing the cleaning demon.
It ain't what
Technically,
you
what we
think.
have is a knockoff Roomba. Because my father-in-law is very thrifty. We'll say thrifty. And he bought it as a gift from Misty. So
I always wanted one, but we had this Siamese named Blue who was huge, just huge. And we used to have an automatic kitty litter cleaner. It was really neat. After they'd get out of the box, it'd go. And Blue used to ride on that, and that was before he was fully adult, and he still broke it. So I'm figuring there's no Roomba that could carry him.
Let's see. A dark.
Barry hasn't jumped on it yet, but he's really looked at it really closely.
Ah, that looks like fun.
He was like, how do I get on this thing? And is it going to try to eat my tail?
What are you saying, Chris?
I said a dark arc Roomba. Would that be Ocho Ono? As in 8 arms? Ocho? And then oh no, like, oh no, here comes Ocho.
That'll be the next story.
I'm sorry I asked. I love you, Chris.
Oh, at this rate, I'm never going to go out of business.
How many days, Chris?
Oh, it's under, let's see.
Hang on.
The 25th.
32, I want to say.
That sounds
because I was looking the other day and it was 34.
Yeah.
34 as of today, according to my countdown clock on my budget spreadsheet.
Yeah, 34. Because I knew it was just over a month. Unlike Chevy Chase, it was my understanding, I'm told, there would be no math.
Which gives me just under a month to empty the van of all the power tools and stuff that I've been storing in there.
Oh man, I got so much stuff to do.
Just enough time to put this crap in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I get home, take the convention crap out and put the other crap back in.
Oh, good grief. I'm going to be busier than a rooster in the hen house and not having nowhere near as much fun.
Busier than a one-legged paper hanger
Man,
in
a
an
butt
ass kicking
kicking
contest.
contest.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, we'll try to make you have a little bit of fun down in Georgia when we get there.
I'm sure I will. It's just the leading up to it's going to be a lot.
Oh, it's always a war of nerves until everything actually starts.
I have a really good feeling about this year. I really do.
In spite of everybody who's coming.
Oh, that's part of one reason why I have a good feeling is everybody that's coming.
Which reminds me, thank you for double checking on that and everything else. Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome, man. Like I said, I wanted to be sure y'all were okay with it. And it's one thing to tell you, it's another thing to actually see visuals. So.
Now we know where the other 3/4 of Joe Dog's gummy went. Chris is seeing visuals.
No, actually, I sent photos.
Well, I had just made my reservations like a week before check this, make sure. And I was talking to the manager, and I could hear him typing everything in, and he had all the information already in there.
Most of it was probably right. He just wanted to double check and make sure he had all his I's dotted and T's crossed. And I'm like, fair enough. I mean, that's an easy request.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it's been the same information for the last 2 years. It's in the computer.
Do we have T-shirts saying "I love the COC"?
Still have time to have them printed.
As far as I know,
maybe not on Teespring, but
if people want to message me sizes and numbers of shirts, I will see what I can do.
Don, you've been busy doing other things, and so is Rich, but we still have time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm looking forward to is another Waffle House expedition for some newbies.
Hey, let's keep the ice cubes to a minimum this year, please.
Not making any promises. We've got 5 cherries to pop this time.
It doesn't mean you got to John them.
I run warm anyway. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
And who we can eat,
tradition,
I'm probably
you
the one
know.
that'll be doing it too, Misty.
I hope you can run. At least
No,
faster than her.
I just need to carry a pocket full of rice to scatter behind me because she just got to go around each crane instead of being able to go over them.
Stop and count them.
No.
That's
No,
a
she's
different
so
cryptid.
short she can't go. She can't step over the rice. She's got to go around them.
Thesis, if I could afford it, you and Foxy would be flying down here.
Yeah.
So
That would be
speaking of
experience
shortness.
because she's never flown ever. She's always taken buses and trains, so she's never been on a plane.
Well, the important thing is, and this made perfect sense after it was explained to me, which luckily my first time this happened. I was told if you go with somebody the first time that plane travel does not bother them, you'll be fine. If you go with somebody that's a nervous wreck, you're going to be a nervous wreck the rest of your life and not take a plane flight.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I always like having a window seat so I can just look out and watch everything and look at the clouds and look at the ground and try not to pay attention to the way my inner ear is tracking every single movement the plane makes.
Now, I don't have the regular
It's not
contact.
frightening.
I don't have the regular contact with some folks that I once did, but I know some pretty bright people. And this particular one that told me that happened to be a former Jeopardy champion.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. That's like the Dan. That's like the old joke. Look at the people; they look like ants. Those are ants. We're still on the ground.
Yes, Foxy.
No, I actually enjoy being able to feel when the plane banks and turns and everything, and I'm looking at the either the big screen that's showing the course or the little one when they've got that one playing a movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather see how far we've gotten and the flight path and everything than watch a movie, because most of the time I've seen them all anyway. Especially if they were worth watching. I found that out in my brother-in-law's little 4-seater. I think it's a Piper Cherokee, and every time he had to bank or turn, or I could feel it. It's like having an internal gyro compass, and it didn't bother me at all. Freaked my sister out when he stood the plane on one wing and went around a rock quarry near where we were supposed to land. She didn't like it at all. I'm going, wow, I never saw it from the air before. That's cool.
Let's do that again.
Typically, more people die in car accidents than plane crashes.
Yes, but most of the episodes of Seconds to Disaster were planes and trains.
Well, of course. What else would they be?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all got to see this, guys.
What are you doing, Chris?
I just sent a photo.
Oh, good God.
I saw it and I had to send it.
What on earth?
Oh, God.
Share the misery.
But speaking of shortness and how short you folks keep saying Joe Dog is. When Chris earlier said, he took him there and back again, my mind is just now seeing Joe Dog cast as Bilbo Baggins. But instead of Sting, he has Stink.
He would be either Merry or Pippin,
Yeah.
because he ain't got enough sense to be Frodo.
He's never been merry. He is not a merry man.
Sir, I must object. I am not a merry man.
One of the greatest episodes of Next Generation ever.
Yes.
That and the one where they all get the space disease where they get drunk.
Yes. The one that was based on the original series episode for the same reason, yeah.
Yep.
That's the one where even Data got drunk.
Yeah, really.
And laid.
Yes. Data's got a girlfriend. Data's got a girlfriend.
Foxy, you'll be fine as long as you don't fly into O'Hare.
Tiny tight tights. Oh yes, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
And call me Little John.
It's been a while since I watched that movie. But
Which one?
again, it's Men in Tights.
Yeah. I like Will Scarlett O'Hare.
It's been a while since I've watched any movie, actually. I've been busy. Dawn did fine in O'Hare Airport.
You just feel like on approach you're circling the drain because you're in a constant downward spiral.
Well, you are landing in Chicago. I mean,
Yeah.
that makes
Technically
sense.
the outskirts of Chicago, but yeah.
So bonus points if you know the 9 Inch Nails album,
Um,
The Downward Spiral.
Now, I will say that having to change flights at Denver Airport is no fun. Usually your flight arrives at one end of the airport. The flight you need to be on is at the other end of the airport. You have like 19 seconds to run a mile.
Now, I've been to McCarran in Las Vegas. It's not bad. I've been to Reagan National. It's pretty good as well. And I've been to Kansas City, Big Continental International.
The Houston airport's fun. Or is it Dallas?
I've not been to that. Which one? Hobby or the other one?
The one where you've got trains to ride between the different terminals. The elevated trains where you can actually see where you're going, not the subway things in Atlanta.
Sure it wasn't DFW? Because I thought it had the trains.
It could be. It could be. I can't remember which one it was that we went to.
DFW is a pretty big airport.
Oh, yeah, it was huge. It was huge.
Don says Dallas.
Yeah. Okay. Dallas.
Maybe
Fort
both
Worth.
of them.
Yeah.
Or Dallas. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Sorry.
I had a brief layover in Dallas. I didn't really get to explore it much because there was not much time between flights.
We had.
Don evidently did not like the trains.
Oh, I love those trains. I like them a
Ones
whole
in
lot
Atlanta
better
are
than I like
fun.
the subway in Atlanta. I mean, at the Atlanta airport, because you get on one of those subway trains in Atlanta airport, you feel like you're in Forbidden Planet, and you really don't know if you're going towards the monster or not.
If you've remember the original series, Battlestar Galactica, you remember they had the regular Cylons, and then they had the Golden Centurions that had the huskier, deeper voice. That was the voice of the Golden Centurion that they used to have on the Atlanta people mover trains at the airport. Then they changed them when the Olympics came.
Yeah.
Orlando Airport is fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, Gatwick in England, I could just move into the airport and just live there.
I'm surprised you flew into Gatwick directly. Most of the international flights go through Heathrow.
Yeah, well, this one, it might have been because it was KLM rather than
a
one of
domestic
the other.
carrier.
Yeah, and we got in there, and it's like they have gin and tonic in a vending machine. I like this place.
Well, it's sort of like if you're flying into Paris. Charles de Gaulle International is the big airport, and Orly's the
Little ones.
smaller one. And a lot of your bigger areas will have multiple airports. New York City technically has 3. It has LaGuardia and JFK, but Newark's also kind of considered New York City because
And White Plains.
Because it's close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time I've flown into New York, it's been through Newark.
Yeah.
You have my apologies for having to experience New Jersey. I wouldn't
Actually,
wish
that little bit of it that we were in wasn't bad at all.
Does Chicago still have Midway?
I think so.
That's where my son usually flies out of.
Yeah.
Well, I either
It
have
was
to
a
open
big
the-
field that Daily illegally overnight ripped up and was like, "What are you going to do? It's already destroyed."
But Dallas is one that their airport is so big. They might have a smaller one that services too, but it can handle a lot of the stuff going in and out of it. Same way with LAX. There's other airports, but it handles a huge majority of it. Now, someplace like Denver, where they built the new airport, Stapleton was fairly big, but this one is really huge and was designed to handle current and future traffic.
But they had the oddest habit of scheduling the arrival you're on and the departure you need to be just minutes apart.
Yeah, that's just poor planning on their part. Did you know that Die Hard 2 was actually filmed at Stapleton?
No, I did not.
And
I did not.
and the new airport, I think they went back and forth between the two places.
I've either got to open the door to the office or turn the air conditioner off. And I'm sure the dog would like it if I just opened the door, but...
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, you're New Chicago, right?
What's that?
You're New Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Okay. People in Terre Haute have never heard of New Chicago.
People in Hobart haven't heard of New Chicago, and we share their damn zip code. Most of the time when I say I live in New Chicago, people go, "Oh, you live in East Chicago?" No, if I lived in East Chicago, I would say East Chicago. I live in New Chicago.
What you should have said is, yes, I'm from the 24th and a half century.
I grew up maybe 15 minutes from New Chicago and didn't know there was such a thing as New Chicago until I was like 18 or 20?
We were down
A little younger than that, because it was one of Sheila's exes that she lived there with before she met Tim.
we were down in Terre Haute, Indiana, at a Muncie event. A couple of our friends are coming up to our event next weekend, and Daniel asked, "Were there any other people, friends that were coming?" And I said, "Yeah, we've got a couple coming. We got someone coming from Peoria, and we've got a couple friends coming from New Chicago." And they go, "Oh, all Illinois people, huh?" And I'm like, "No, they're Hoosiers just like you.
Yeah.
Only they live in the right time zone."
Oh, that's fun. I know some people might give me a hard time about names up north, but I guarantee you there's some names down south that throw it off for a loop and a half.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I saw some of those. The last time we came from Florida, we came up through Mississippi and then across Tennessee and Kentucky. And I'm like, I wrote down a bunch of them because I was going to make fun of them online, and then I decided, no, I'm not going to do that.
You might have to go through there again.
Well, here's a funny thing. If you've ever watched the movie Renaissance Man that has Danny DeVito in it, it's a very good movie. I thought they were making it up when I think it was Mark Wahlberg character said he was from Willacoochee, Georgia. I looked it up. There really is a place in South Georgia called Willacoochee.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like Jerry Reed's song about Amos Moses, Tippy Toe, Tippy Toe, Louisiana.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, there's such a place.
Well, yeah. If you want to guarantee to sell records, you drop a
Drop a
real
name.
location into it.
Yeah.
There was one guy that did music reviews, and he hated every rock song that mentioned a town's name in it. It's like, oh, that's so tasteless. Just pandering to fans and trying to sell records. And I'm going, what part
Yeah.
of being in the music business
That's
did you not
kind of what you
understand?
need to do.
Yeah. Well, there's some people that just
Don't get it.
well,
I'm going,
that
how
and they're too
pretentious can
full
you
of
get?
that, and they're just too full of themselves to realize that they're not all that, and take life a little less seriously. You'll be less miserable for it.
Yeah, and Dawn, I'm sorry. That's why she pointed that out. Rhymes with boat. That was because I grew up with Midwestern newscasters that pronounced it so it rhymed with cot.
And that is wrong.
I know it's wrong now,
And
but
some people do call it Terre Haute,
Yeah.
and some people call it Terre Haute. Like,
Yeah.
like, well, okay.
yep. I'm not gonna argue with Walter Cronkite or Huntley and Brinkley at that age.
Well, another thing too is it may sound a certain way and look a certain way, but the natives may pronounce it a totally different way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like in Georgia, whereas in Louisiana and Indiana, it's Lafayette. In Georgia, it's Lafayette.
Mm-hmm.
Spelled exactly the same way.
Yep.
Are any of you old enough to remember the sitcom Family Affair?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Do you remember that they pronounced Terre Haute two different ways?
Nope.
The first season they pronounced it Terre Haute, like a building, And somebody, they must have had letters because the second season they started pronouncing it Hoke correctly.
Yes, you don't like my music. A lot of us do dream about real freedom, but unfortunately, China got Freedom 95 out of George Michael, because they didn't like the original.
Okay.
I was just going to say, I've already got real freedom. I don't dream about it. I live it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was talking about musically.
Yeah, could be.
Sorry, when I say music and I see freedom, I think Wham's Freedom and then George Michael's Freedom 95.
Yeah, that's right, Don. And then we have a town up by Quad Cities that is spelled Orion, but they pronounce it Orion.
Well, it's like in my home county of Murray County. Chatsworth is named after Chatsworth House, which is the ducal seat of Devonshire in England. There's a prestigious college and finishing school in England called Eton. It's spelled the same way here, but it's pronounced Eton.
Okay, Thesis, how do you pronounce that Utah town?
Tooele.
Tooele.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
I would have rhymed it with the name of your dog.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, a lot of the towns, especially in the extremities of the state, retain the Indian name that it was originally
Mm-hmm.
given.
Yep. And hopefully people listen to the people that have been there the longest as to how to pronounce it,
Yeah.
and not the people that moved in from far reaches and just saw the
It's our
sign.
town now. We're going to call it what we want.
Well,
All right, Karen.
another thing that happened when a area news weather forecaster pronounced the name the way it's spelled. And yeah, in most circumstances, it would be pronounced that way, but you're dealing with rural folks that have called it this name for years.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
sumac was pronounced shumac. And they had to learn, look, you might be some hotshot weather forecaster from out of college and from one step and so, but around here we pronounce it this way.
tell them how Taliaferro County is spelled. Taliaferro. Yeah.
Lord.
I forgot to put the accent on when I said it.
The Okefenokee Swamp. You know, it's a Indian word for land of the trembling earth.
Taliaferro County is spelled Tolliver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They don't like it if you say it wrong when you're down there, and there's more of them than they is of you. So
There's a place in between Rome and Calhoun called Armurchie.
I'm not even gonna guess. How is it written?
ARMURCHEE.
Okay. Oh, and then there's always a difference between the spelling and pronunciation of Mayretta and Atlanta.
Well, let's face it, people can't agree on whether it's Attila or Attila.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's like,
And
hey,
apparently, the pronunciation of some people's favorite brand of athletic shoes is Adidas.
yeah.
And we're going, that ain't the way they advertise it on TV over here.
Well, there's actually a Eastern European guy that does videos on YouTube where he'll get people to sing, and he does the. It takes him about a minute, maybe a minute and a half if it's complex, to work out the stuff. But he's got a keyboard, he's got a guitar, and he'll get a drum beat going. And there's this one gal that did an awesome job of singing Fleetwood Mac strings, and I think his name is Avidas.
Davidas, yes. And that girl is his girlfriend.
Yeah.
She is a regular part of the act. I have watched them off and on for several years.
Yeah.
He usually doesn't admit that she's his girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's part of the act.
Yeah.
He just pretends she walks up and she just is amazing, but no, she's been jamming with him for decades.
And she does have a great voice.
Mm-hmm.
Glorious results of misspent youth.
Oh.
Bonus points if you get the Joan Jett album reference.
Someone who can.
Yeah.
I'm glad nobody else put in a comment while I was trying to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be gone, troll.
Besides,
Yeah.
most of us have been married longer than your shoe size. Or at least cohabiting.
Well, go turn it on, Don.
Rich, it was just like Shaggy said, it wasn't you.
Yeah.
Yes, no.
Irish nationalist.
Whisper sweet nothings into its microphone.
Whisper sweet
I'll be
nothings
back in a minute.
Nope, not even gonna go there. Talk about a jumping off point. It'd probably be better off for me to jump off the Smoky Mountains. I don't want to piss Dawn off.
Probably a wise idea.
Well, I mean, I might in person where I can see her suddenly realize I'm just being a smartass, but no, not.
Yeah, looking to get some ice in a month.
I'm not. I didn't say I was going to piss her off.
Oh, that's when she's not pissed off. That's when she finds you amusing.
Oh.
It's after she's had a chance to cool down.
I could continue in this vein, but I don't think I will. Discretion is the better part of survival. Oh. Oh, Foxy, people never worry about making me angry. Some people have never seen that happen.
Northern gales move south. Oh my.
Gail can move wherever she wants. It's her life.
Just remember, you're gonna have me, Don, and Trey all together at Hallowcon.
Yeah, but there's a liquor store down at the bottom of the hill. I think I can cope.
Yeah, but can he get back up the hill?
Yeah, as long as I don't try and walk. Have to do that early in the morning and drive.
No one
down
said
and
we
drive
had to
back
get up the hill on our own power.
So wait till you see the hill, Richie.
I wouldn't even wait till you see the hill.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. No one said we had to get up the hill on our own power.
I wouldn't even want to attempt that hill with a rope ladder.
There are wheelchairs, there are wheelbarrows, there are designated drivers.
Are you talking about the hill at the Econo Lodge?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brutal. Going down's hard enough on your breaks in your legs and knees and ankles and all, but
going down the hill is the easy part. That you just got to lay down and just roll.
Yeah, not down that hill.
No.
It's a sudden stop. It's a sudden stop in the parking lot that would be the problem in that
it's something you have to see to believe.
Carl has to put the van into first gear to get up the hill.
I've had to hike hills like that, except they were called dunes. One of the reasons why I'm like, you know what? No, Boy Scouts, fuck this.
Yeah, I go part way up the hill and then turn into the hotel's driveway, and suddenly the van automatically drops itself down into, hey, this is needing really, really low gear. And the engine goes, oh, time to blow some of the carbon out of the muffler. Oh,
the first time he tried that hill, the first time we came down, we almost didn't make it up. And I'm like, you want me to drive, honey? No, I didn't do it.
Yeah, sorry, we probably should have told that to y'all before y'all came down.
But it was funnier that you didn't.
Well, I guess it worked out in the end. You got a good laugh.
Hey, now we're used to it. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
One trip to the liquor store, the Waffle House, and Kroger, and you know just about everything about Dalton you need to know.
Yeah.
All you need to know is where the Waffle House is, just down that way.
It's within 0.3 of a mile of the hotel.
A quick hop, skip, and a stumble, and you'll be there.
Of course, it's across a 12-lane highway, but
hey, there's a stoplight. If it stays green for you long enough, you can get through.
So Bachman will feel like home, playing Frogger.
Right.
And I know several different ways to and from, so.
Yeah.
Bachman's going to be like, I do this on a day. What the hell's wrong with you people?
I get paid for this.
Night, Foxy.
Good night.
Good night, Foxy.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for watching and joining in.
Oh, man.
I'm not going to dignify that.
Oh. So was Stupid O'Clock as crazy as last week? Or not last week, Thursday night, I should say.
No,
Not
but
really, I don't think.
a little bit of
little
it
that I
was
saw.
almost as crazy as Green Room last night.
It was getting pretty tame by the time I joined in.
Yeah. We were trying to behave. I don't know
Y'all
what
didn't
we
have to on
succeeded.
my account.
No.
They were doing it because of the Geneva Convention.
Which one? There were so many.
It was so dark.
Not the one where the hotel burned down.
Dude.
Some stupid with a flare gun.
Hey, you told me to point it in that direction.
I wasn't there.
That was my turn Misty's office.
What's that?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
Good
well,
nonsense.
nobody's perfect.
Wasn't my wife.
Wasn't my wife. He's gone to bed.
Yeah. It's because he wants to get up at the butt crack of dawn so he can go to his monitor.
So I trimmed his beard. I got tired of him saying it needed trimmed. Sit your ass down on the toilet and I'll trim it. Calvin is not happy with it being shorter because Calvin used to run his claws through it and untangle it, and now it's short and neat enough that it doesn't get tangled.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he's using my hair conditioner. And when Calvin runs his claws through it, there's no tangles to get caught on.
He's like, Dad,
I
you're
think
no
Chris is
fun.
the one that's going to have to worry about ice cubes this year.
Oh, man.
I suspect cat shenanigans in the bedroom because I just heard Carl yell.
Oh, no.
Ouch! I need a Band-Aid.
But before I did leave Joe Dog's place, I did look at Grillzilla and the work he's done on it since I helped him with it. It's starting to look pretty good.
Oh, good.
Now, do they have anyone to operate it down there?
Yes, we have a former student of Ruth's. She says he's really good.
Great.
Like it's nobody's business. And Ruth recommended somebody called Megan. So I trust her judgment.
Is it too personal a question to ask whether it was just a challenge to commitments or something?
We can discuss it in private.
Okay, that answers the question right there.
I think it was a number of reasons, but I don't want to go into details on public.
Okay. Enough said.
Yeah. I can't tell if that's supposed to be a horny devil or angry emoji.
That's a horny
It's
devil.
Okay.
it's Dawn.
Dawn.
It's angry.
No.
I was gonna say it's Dawn. It's a horny devil, but
Okay.
Trust me, I know my sister. That's a horny devil. There are plans in the works, shall we say.
Oh.
The game is afoot.
I don't know why that worries me.
If I see a bunch of COC shirts, I will know.
Trust me, if I know anything about this particular group, you
who
won't
was
see
it?
it coming.
Matthew, who said he wanted a shirt.
I could just see somebody say, "Hey, what's this COC?" I gotta go check on something.
Read the fine print.
Yeah, Don says it's a good evil devil with a side of horny.
Okay.
Yeah, but she ended that with a question mark. I'm not sure.
Well, if she's not sure, how the hell can we be?
No, that's just teasing you.
That's the thing about Chris. So many people find him so cute they can't get mad at him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Or can't stay mad anyway.
Good, evil. Doesn't matter. I'm the guy with the gun. Paraphrase from either Evil Dead or Army of Darkness, I want to say.
Well, wasn't Army of Darkness Evil Dead 3?
Pretty much.
That's a
Yes, actually.
Yeah, I thought so.
In continuity, yes.
I'm still waiting for the Jeff line from Roomba to appear. Seriously, somebody needs to go to Roomba.com and contact us. And like, when is the Jeff line coming out?
You don't, because then you have to explain it.
No, that's the beauty of it. You never have to explain. They just go, okay, we got to Google this. And then they find you.
Yeah, no, I don't want to.
When they contact you, it's funny. It's supposed to be a cleaning demon. We kind of like that. Can we use it?
The really funny thing would be if they go, "Oh, that's a good story. Let's come out with a Jeff line."
And then they fund your airline tickets back and forth to Hallowcon.
Yeah.
Instead of actually pay you.
Stranger things have happened.
True.
I know.
If Nikki Cox can get engaged to Bobcat Goldthwait, there's hope for all of us.
That had to have demonic possession somewhere involved.
Well, there was a rabbit involved in the show that happened on.
I'm not sure I want to know any more details.
Yeah.
Happily ever after. It was supposed to be Stephanie Hodges' breakout performance role and all. Unfortunately, because of stalkers and letters from prisons, she kind of got crazy, went off the deep end, and she got written off the show, and the family took over especially the rabbit that was voiced by Bobcat Goldthwait. And interestingly enough, one of Nikki Cox's first roles was the little girl that Data rescued from the planet that was going to be destroyed, where he violated the Prime Directive.
Oh, yes, I remember that one.
And later on, she was in the NBC series Las Vegas. where she was all grown up.
Oh, you don't like my music? We need better stories? Have I got an e-zine for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes, indeed we do.
There's what, 27 years of stories?
Yeah, there are. There are indeed.
You can find out more about Jeff.
Indeed.
And beg for further adventures. Such as, well, I mean, what part of 27 years of continuous publication did you not realize included an awful lot of stories?
And if you go to onlydans.com, you find 27 years worth of Colt Long's performances. And oh, wait, sorry.
We weren't supposed to talk about that.
Maybe you weren't, but
I don't mind.
I was young. I needed the money.
Some of us are still, stakeholders in that IP. We need to get our money back.
Yep, it's the world's longest running e-zine.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us subscribe to Nick's thing of always promote.
Yes.
Yep.
Which is how they made me CEO of something. I have no idea how the fuck that happened. Wrong kind of promotion. Never mind.
Speaking of promoting, Rich, how's that book coming?
Which book?
The one that should be coming out soon, because it has a cover and inside all edited and it should be ready to go.
I'm still working on some of the inside matter, and I thought Carl said he was still doing some tweakage on the cover.
You need to get on the Witzman dude then.
Catch up.
And there's your answer. You don't like my music.
Yep, we've got, let's see, November will be issue number 300. Then we've got the December-January issue, which is so that everybody on the staff, once they turn in all the December stuff, they don't have to take time away from their families for the holidays until it's time for the February issue. What is the most simple story of all of those? Yeah, I believe there's one that only. Well, it's not ours. I think we quote it as an example of the best way to write a very, very, very short story. It's like 2 sentences. No,
Okay.
seriously. And I do believe this was done by a pro writer way back when. But it's basically, I could quote the entire thing. It's the last man on earth sat alone in his room. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door.
There's
That's
your
the
writing
entire
prompt.
story.
That's a writing prompt. That's not a story.
No, it's a complete story. And a lot of people that are making money as professional writers go, "Oh no, that it doesn't need anything else. That's it right there. It leaves everything to the reader's imagination. and it's complete in the vignette that it is telling.
Well, if you've read any of mine, you know there's some that don't leave anything to the reader's imagination.
Oh my.
Well, maybe the taste, but
But if you go there, you will find stories by Mr. Joe Bachman, by Rich, and by Bladed Thesis. And maybe that Hollifield dude.
one or two.
And a number of
Nothing
other authors.
consequential.
Dan has helped a number of writers become professionals.
Over 500 in those 27 years. So we're averaging a few a month. And basically all we do is put people's work in front of the public, um, show them how to self-edit things, but always drive home that everybody needs an editor.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
need somebody outside your head to look at your work and go, this is one of those can't see the forest for the trees things. I
Yeah.
know you meant to say this, but what you actually said left out the middle bit, and it's time to expand the shorthand into what you actually
Yeah.
meant to say. Um, Publishing a
can
book
be
is work, but it's not hell.
Nope.
it can be if you totally go in unprepared. If you got there are resources out there to help you figure out how to find a publisher, how to find an editor. In fact, if you're needing help with the editor, I'm pretty sure you can look up a resource online called the Independent Creators Directory, which some people here might know about. And you can find some editors and people that might be able to help you with any questions you have about wanting to publish a story.
And maybe even a cover artist or two, and um, lots of other things that you didn't know you needed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Publishing is hell if you are looking at the big publishing houses.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff you've got to go through. You've got to beat it through their slush pile. You've got to do everything exactly the way they say. You have to do all of your own marketing. So yeah, that can be hell because you don't get any break off of anything because you are also on their timeline, and sometimes it's a hurry up and wait scenario, and you're not wanting to work on other stuff because you're like, if they come at me with this and at any given moment, I'm going to need to jump to that to make sure I don't blow deadlines. And then you also have to worry about if you're going through the big publishing houses. Okay, so they gave me this kind of advance. You got to want to kind of sit on that advance until you get enough sales in, because if you don't get enough sales in within a certain amount of time, instead of getting a royalty check, you get a bill.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And if you respond to an open call, or even if it's your brother-in-law who responds to an open call, pay attention to the guidelines.
Exactly.
If you do not use the program in the format that they ask for, they will not speak to you because you can't follow simple instructions.
They
If
might
you
give
do
you
not
one
follow
more
the
chance.
guidelines
A lot of them
set out
give you
by
no
the
more chances.
if you don't set out the guidelines set out by the publisher in plain language, they will stop responding to you. They will not read the story.
Yeah.
They'll look at it and go, that's not the font that we asked for. That's double spaced, not single spaced.
Yeah.
Sorry, round file. Make
Well,
a
good
note
for
of
your
that
brother.
name. let's see if they send something else that actually follows the guidelines.
Well, there are even some days of the year when a publisher house hires people to open submissions, put it in a sassy, and send it back without anybody ever looking at it.
Mm-hmm. And writing is one of those things where if you expect you're going to write a book and get rich,
There are very few unicorns. Kevin Stevenson's one of the few exceptions I know of.
not every writer is named Stephen King, so they don't just write you a check because they see your name on the envelope.
Yeah.
You got to build up to that. Let's see. I started Aphelion in 1997. My first book was not published until 2014.
I came across a rejection letter for Hunter's Ridge the other day, which is why I turned to indie publishing. I mean, they've had nice things to say about it, but just wasn't what they wanted right now.
And that can happen a lot. You could have a good story, but it's not in the wheelhouse or the parameters that.
Yeah, you can send a great story to the wrong market, and they go, "Hey, our audience is not going to be interested in this. We can't sell it. It's a great story, but we can't sell it."
But that's an awful lot of work.
The right market at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Because it could be a sci-fi horror market, but right now they're looking for werewolf stories instead of vampire stories, and you sent them a vampire story.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of work to do all the research on genre, et cetera, et cetera. I tried it for a while when in my early 20s, but I'm lazy. That was too much work. So I just quit doing it and just wrote my stories for myself until indie publishing became a thing.
And there are smaller presses that are looking for certain types of stories and submissions. And if you're like, okay, well, I got this kind of story, you can Google specialty publishing houses that specialize in this kind of story. And it will probably give you a number of publishers that will do that. Now, they might not be huge, but,
Yeah, and there's a big difference between Vanity Press, which will print anything and charge you out the wazoo for it.
Yeah.
And indie publishing, which expects you to do all of your own work, and they will do the best they can to get you stuff that you can sell on your own.
But a lot of your publishing houses aren't doing anything once they printed it either. So
yeah, you're gonna nowadays even the big name publishers don't do squat.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw an ad for Stephen King's latest book?
Yeah. Half the time, all I got to do is announce it's coming out, and then we'll buy it just because it's Stephen King.
Yeah.
And I've heard some people say his latest stories haven't been as good.
He's getting old.
Previous stuff, yeah.
I've heard people say that ever since he got hit by that truck on the road near his house, his writing has gone downhill. And I'm going, well, that might be a point in time, but it's not the cause.
Yeah. I mean, the point of the matter is you have to be inspired and you have to have a story that you want to tell. Otherwise, if you don't, you're going to be struggling to try and get that story done. Whereas if it's something that you're passionate about, that you know that you want to do, it may need a good bit of editing and it may need some work and you may not, but you're going to get the words either on the page or the computer screen, and eventually you're going to get to the point where you can polish it off and submit the story and get it published, either through a publisher or an independent thing or a vanity press or whatever.
No, do not go vanity press.
Yeah,
No,
don't
no.
do that if you can possibly avoid it. But
I would recommend a site called Writer Beware, which warns people about the different vanity press organizations that suddenly go out of business and change their name and come back into business and hope nobody notices.
Yeah.
Well, long before you even think of Vanity Press, look at Lulu, look at Drafts to Digital, look at even Kindle Direct, things like that. Possibly even the Kindle Vella market. We had a friend who did pretty well, or claimed they did pretty well with the Kindle Vella market for a while, but it kind of dried up on them.
Yeah.
But then again, that's the romance, genre, so that's a very fickle market to begin with. So I mean, depends on what you're trying to write. There's a plethora of places out there, and sometimes you get surrounded by individuals.
I had a friend who
Keisha you.
I don't know what you're talking about, Rich.
Yeah. Most people don't know this. Aerosol cans developed here in Danville, Illinois, by one of our local people. His wife wrote the story about it, called it Poof, Story of Aerosol. Would have been a wonderful book because it talked about how the concept came about, traveling to different countries to talk to other people about this. She didn't listen to us. She went to a vanity press. The book came out. Vanity press, you have to buy a certain amount of books. I don't remember if it's 1,000 or 2,000 or how many, but you have to buy that many books and then sell them on your own. Bought a book not only because she was my friend, but I thought this is going to be an interesting book. No editor at all. The timelines were. It was like she dropped the manuscript and scooped it back up and put it together and published it that way, without making sure the pages were in the right order.
Yeah.
Yeah, vanity press is the worst because they
only care about their money.
They basically trick you into thinking that they're doing you a favor when all they're doing is trying to get as much money out of you as possible before you realize they're not worth the effort to go through.
Well, print your book. You don't have to edit. Didn't say if they'll hire an editor. Just said they don't care if you edit.
Yeah,
baby.
They'll print exactly what you send. They'll print exactly what you send them, and they will not do any work to make it any better. They won't even put you in contact with somebody that could help you make it better.
Because they're getting their money up front.
And they get a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then you call to complain, and they're like, new phone, who dis?
Sorry, this phone number is disconnected.
You're
catch us
looking
in
for
our
the
next
publishers?
incarnation.
Yeah. You were looking for the publishers? They went out of business last week. We sell Herbalife. You want to lose weight?
On a happier note, my latest book is in the hands of the beta readers.
Mm-hmm.
They finally decided which one we wanted to go with. Hopefully, it'll be out around Thanksgiving.
Mm.
You see, baby, yeah, you are. Aunt Dawn says hi.
And that depends on your philosophy. Might be shame, might be ego, might be
Sometimes it's the lack of shame.
exactly. That's the thing about life; it's very variable. It's like one of those word problems in school. How are you supposed to know how big the peanut butter and jelly sandwich is going to be when all you're told is a train is leaving Chicago at 70 miles an hour and another one is leaving Vancouver at 80 miles an hour? Doesn't even say they're going to be near each other. But how big is the peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And the correct answer is because apricots.
Purple,
depends on how
because
many.
aliens don't wear hats.
There you go.
I was going to say it depends on how many peanuts you put on the track.
Okay.
Word problems are hard enough. When you start adding math and other crap to it, it makes it.
Really, Excel spreadsheets are child's play by comparison.
Word problems are hard as soon as they start adding words to it.
I remember a time when I thought I'd never be able to do math because they added an alphabet to it, and some of it was in Greek.
Cat hair in my nose.
Hey,
It's a weird place for a rabbit, but okay.
there you go. And believe me, Don, in some Excel spreadsheets, that makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wouldn't know about dying in the wilderness. I kind of live in one.
Was that called shame or just ignorance?
I'd be too busy trying to build a fire and set up a tent and rig up a signaling device for rescue, and
Lassoing that bear.
No, if I see a bear, I'm climbing a tree. I don't care if I can climb or not. I'm going up that thing like a cat.
You do know bears can climb trees, right?
Hopefully.
He's right behind you.
I know. Monkey.
Yeah, you're so sweet. You sweet baby.
Hanoma. That's what you need to channel in that situation.
As long as you got duct tape, you can survive anything.
Well, yeah.
Mythbusters proved it.
That's a good start. A way to make a fire, or at least a spark, will help.
You can make tent out of duct tape. You can make your hammock out of duct tape. You can put your duct tape around your stick so you can twirl it back and forth fast enough to make your spark for your fire. What more do you need?
A lot of duct tape.
Yeah.
I'd rather have, a tarp, a magnifying glass, a ferro rod, and a good knife.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, a really good Paul Hogan knife. Uh, that's a useful tool.
Yeah. I have a line in one of my stories where um, they want to build a fire, and she says to him, "Can you build a fire?" And he says, "Yeah, I have a magic stick called a match." That build a fire, doesn't it,
Yep.
baby?
Actually, it's not quite a wish list. It's a checklist.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if if you don't own at least a few of those items, uh,
You must live in the city.
yep. Um,
That's the start.
yeah.
Knife and matches is a nice start.
Sorry, it sounded like there was an explosion out in the parking lot, so hence the me throwing off my headphones and running out. Oh, okay. Limping at a medium pace.
Okay. Was it an explosion?
Nope.
Neighbor had bad Taco Bell.
That implies there's such a thing as good Taco Bell.
Mexi Melts. Mexi Melts were good Taco Bell.
I think Chris and I will fight you on whether there's good Taco Bell, because I think we were both believers that there's good Taco Bell.
Yeah.
I've had good Taco Bell.
The rest of my family might not agree with you, but especially after I have it.
Well, if you can handle Crystals or White Castles and Taco Bell,
I can't handle White Castle. Yeah.
White Castle always smells like a good idea, but never is a good idea.
That is almost
Never smells like it afterwards.
Oh, I'm sorry.
well,
Calvin says, "Quit moving my bed."
you can relate to this since y'all are north of the Ohio River. The greater Macon area of Georgia is getting a second Culver's restaurant.
Ooh, nice.
Oh.
Culver's is good.
Culver's.
I prefer Culver's over Dairy Queen because I can get a concrete mixer and have it chocolate instead of vanilla.
I'm just
Get a concrete mixer and it's still solid when you get home.
That's true.
That's true too.
Instead of half melted by the time they hand it out the window.
There's a place over in Portage called Dairy Dip, similar to Dairy Queen,
We used to have one of those a long time ago.
and they actually had a sugar-free ice cream that my mom could eat. That didn't mess with her blood sugar, and it was actually I tried it. It was actually pretty good. And they made hurricanes was their thing instead of blizzards.
Yeah.
But,
believe it or not, Chatsworth is so close to Dalton. A lot of stuff that if it's in Dalton, they're not going to put it in Chatsworth. Now, years ago, we had a Tasty Freeze in Dalton, didn't we? Sadly, the Tasty Freeze eventually went out of business, and it became a Subway, and now it's a donut shop.
Well, that's not a bad transition.
I'm going to have to go down the hall. We've only got 10 minutes left, but
so you better.
There may be some law enforcement folks that are happy about that.
Not between me and the bathroom, no.
I'm sorry, baby boy.
I thought I
Oh, he's
turned
going to
the
be
cameras off.
brave.
Yes, I didn't.
He left his headset on.
Okay, what can we say to make you miss? Don and I did manage to do that one night.
I was here
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, but you and Don together are a tag team to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep moving your bed, don't I?
And then
You okay?
if anyone else adds into it,
Oh, wait till you meet Trey.
oh, I've met Trey. She's awesome.
Well, that's right. You came up here.
I haven't got to see all three of y'all together for an extended period of time. That's going to be fun and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we'll still be able to hold Hallowcon at the same venue next year.
Fun and interesting might not be the words I would use for it, but
Hey, Bob likes me. We'll be fine.
Yeah, Bob likes most of y'all, and I'm sure Bob will like Traylana. She is funny. She
Evil.
has great energy and enough mischievousness to
Yes, we do, Don.
yeah.
She's great for her first wife.
And I hear she says you're okay for her first husband.
Yeah, but knows how I'm just okay for her first husband, but she's great for her first wife.
See, Joe's a smart guy. He knows what side his bread's buttered on.
Damn right I do. I also know she can use swords better than me, so.
Yeah.
You run the risk.
That's not quite the way I would have said that sentence, but and wait a minute. Bob likes anybody with a credit card that actually works.
That's not what you said last night.
He likes people with cash even better.
It wasn't the credit card he was looking at last year.
Don't have to report
I assure
that.
you it wasn't the credit card he was looking at.
Yeah, but unfortunately for me, I wasn't born with that particular set of equipment.
Yeah.
Neither was I, but if you eat enough.
Oh yeah, like on that Fluffy video that I shared in the group where they went down the log thing, flashed everybody. Yeah.
And just for anybody who's curious, I did turn the light on and before I went through the bathroom door this time, looking for a German Shepherd the size of a deer in my way.
Good idea.
Yes, well, fortunately, apparently the dog has finally gone to bed.
Take a win where you can get them.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this comment and going.
Yeah, that was my response to it. Take a win where you can get it.
Yeah. I actually didn't finish college because I wasn't eligible for any loans at the time. So I dropped out of college and I got a job at a local factory and then made
too good of money?
Very too good of money to think about going back to school and just be throwing it away. Especially when I'd been told that I wasn't. How shall I put this?
Well, why not? They lie enough to us.
I was told by my drafting teachers that because I wasn't gay, I had no chance of getting a job in interior design, which was my major, and had absolutely no chance in hell of going to Atlanta and getting a degree in architecture.
Yeah.
And somehow or another, between all the twists and turns of my life, I can still draw blueprints and uh, build rooms and buildings and whatnot from those. Do wiring, do plumbing, lay concrete block. Brick is a little bit harder. Um, uh,
5 minutes.
hey, I build my own furniture. Um, I need to learn upholstery to be able to brag about it, but as long as it's stuff that you can just throw a cushion on and call it a
Mhm.
chair. Um,
It's more than some folks can do.
no, no, no. They told me because I wasn't gay.
Look at the line below.
Because I'm straight, I had no chance of getting a job. Uh, Now, I do have to
He
admit,
was pulling
all
your
three
leg.
of my drafting teachers were very gay, but they were kind.
Yeah, he was pulling your leg. Look at the line below it.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah.
Maybe he was mad because you wouldn't let you pull his leg, or you wouldn't let him. You wouldn't let him pull your leg.
Pull the
Anyway,
other one. It's got bills on.
anyway,
No, and yeah, I'm also dyslexic and have dyscalculia, and I write Excel spreadsheets for fun. Um, I can't spell worth a damn. I run the internet's oldest creative writing website. Um,
hey baby, yeah.
I am a study in
You
contrast.
want to come up here?
And we all have our quirks. That's what makes us
Y-
us.
yes, I am well spoken. It's. I have been around a lot for a long time, longer than most people know.
And Dan is respected by authors who are quite popular and well respected.
Well, it's because I I'm very honest and open about everything. Um, if I see a problem with something, I'll say so. If I see something that I'm going, where have you been hiding that talent? I
Yeah.
will say so. Um,
And if you want to see just how well spoken he truly is, go to his indie CD page on the Independent Creator Directory, and go to the link for his old Dan story, the audio story that he has on Bandcamp.
And Dan writes music and composes music.
Yes.
and I do oil paintings, and I build furniture, and I build porches, and
And he knows how to drive a tractor.
oh, I'm a world
I know how
class
to drive a
tractor.
tractor.
I just
Uh,
had to say that one.
Aunt Donna and I both grew up on farms, so we have a variety of skills that may not come in handy all the time, but when they do, we know what we're doing.
I can drive a tractor.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you
when
can
we'd
also
go to
drive all the young girls wild.
when we'd go to buy a car, salesman would pop the hood and look at Carl, and Carl would look at me, and I'm like, yeah, okay, let's look at this.
Carl leans over and goes, "Yep, that's an engine, Donna."
Exactly.
Mm.
Hey, Carl buys a car by seeing if he'll hit his head getting into it. And we
Well,
have
as
a one
tall
minute
as he
warning.
is, that's a decent criteria.
He's only 6'2". We went to they moved all the uh, companies in town went out to the airport, and everybody had just one big auto sale one year, and there's just rows. And he started at the end of one row and got in the car and got out and got in and got out and got in. And I'm I'm watching the salesman who had started over and then stopped and was just watching him. And finally, Carl gets out and looks around, so the salesman comes over. I want to buy this car. You want to take it for a test drive? I suppose I should. It's time to say goodnight, Gracie.
Yes, I know. I know. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, everybody that's been watching or will watch. Thank you all. And thank each of you for the praise you've heaped on me, even though I'm just this guy. But I do try very hard. And I know somebody's going to go, yeah, we know you're trying. You're very trying.
Oh, you
And
go
go
good out of my mouth.
Trying our patience.
We love you, Dan.
I know, and I love each and all of you.
Roasting over an open fire with the tangy barbecue sauce.
If
Go
it ain't
Big Gus.
Cowboy Kent's barbecue sauce, it ain't hitting on much.
Hey, famous Dave's, rich and sassy.
Hey, have you had any of Cowboy Kent's barbecue sauce? That if you like outdoor cooking, look up Cowboy Kent Rollins on YouTube. If you need any camping or survivalist tips,
What's this thing?
look up Corporal's Corner.
What's this thing you call cooking?
It's one way I like to have fun.
As for camping, my idea of roughing it is when there's no room service.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Donna.
Yeah.
That cooking thing, that's what we do at Hallowcon, so you don't have to.
And I love y'all for it. And that's some good cooking.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty good this year as well. So.
Looking forward to it.
Don's saying it's time for the "Come On Back Again" music.
Yeah, well, go good, guys.
Yep, go good, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, folks.
Asta.
Good night.
Transmission overload. System will shut down. shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down.